There it is.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the reorganizational meeting for Tuesday, January 6, 2025 of the Candiota County Board of Commissioners. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I thank everyone for being here today, folks with interest before the board, as well as folks who are visiting with us today. So thank you for your attendance. At this point in time, we'll call for election of the chair and vice chair of the board. We'll start with the chair. Are there any nominations?
Mr. Chair, I nominate Steve Gardner.
Thank you. Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Third and final, are there any other nominations? Hearing none, nominations will cease, and we'll go to a vote. All in favor of the current chair as chair for 2026, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. And then we'll accept nominations for vice chair.
Mr. Chair, I so nominate Dwayne Anderson.
Thank you. And are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Third and final, any other nominations? Hearing none, nominations will cease, and we will vote. All in favor of Dwayne Anderson for vice chair, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. At this time, we'll accept approval of the agenda. I would like to, upon Commissioner Berg's suggestion, flip-flop the 9:10 and the 9:40 items out of respect for the time for our guest today, as well as our county auditor. So we would move the approval of the bid and appointment of official newspaper as the first item. Are there any objections to doing so? All right, hearing none then, I'd accept a motion to approve the agenda.
Mr. Chair, I'll move the agenda as amended.
I'll second that.
Thank you, and any comments, questions? Hearing none, all in favor of approval of the agenda, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Next item then is the approval of the consent agenda. The consent agenda consists of several action items that are considered to be non-controversial and or routine. They include the approval of the December 16th, 2025 County Board legal minutes, the approval of the auditor's warrants and claims, paying the bills, and approved renewal of the medical examiner contract for services with Anoka County. Does anyone wish to pull any of these consent agenda items for further discussion? Hearing none, then I would request a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Mr. Chair, I so move.
Thank you. And a second?
I'll second that, Mr. Chair.
Very good, thank you. And any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of approval of the consent agenda, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. At this time then, I'll request that County Auditor Lisa Weiss come up to the podium and present regarding discussion of Resolution 2026-1, approval of bid and appointment of official newspaper. Lisa, good morning.
Good morning. I'm Lisa Weiss, County Auditor Treasurer. I'm here to present the bids received to publish the required legal notices for Candy Ojai County. Candy Ojai County requested bids for the 2026 first and second legal publications of the annual financial statement, delinquent taxes, and all legal public notices. Those were presented to you in your board packet. We published in the West Central Tribune on Wednesday, December 10th for bids, and we emailed directly to the West Central Tribune and the Lakes Area Review for bids. The time frame to submit bids was Monday, December 8th through 8:01 a.m. on Friday, December 19th. Bids were received either at the county office, directed to me, the county auditor, or via email to me at lisa.weiss@kcmn.us. 2 bids were received, and they were presented in your packet in the order that they were received. The first bid was from the Lakes Area Review. That was received via email on December 13th. Their bid is for a standard advertising unit rate for the first printing of $9, the second printing also of $9, and then once we reach either the $12.90 standard advertising units, which is the equivalent of $11,110, then those would be dropped to $8 for each of those. The additional notices that we would require them would be at the $9 as well. West Central Tribune submitted a bid that was also received via email on December 18th. Their bid for a standard advertising unit is $10 for the first printing and $7.50 for duplicate printings. And those 2 bids are identical to what has been received in the last 2 years, so this is the 3rd year of identical bids. There was some requests for some financial information related to the cost of those bids. Because the bids were the same for the past several years, what I was able to do is take what we did pay currently in 2025, if we had paid that to the other, so what we did pay West Central Tribune was the legal paper for 2025. If it had been Lakes Area Review at the rates that are in here, the savings would have been $4,358.94. Lakes Area Review was the legal paper in 2023, and for legal notices, and West Central Tribune was the official newspaper for legal notices for 2024 and 2025. So I do have numbers on what we paid to each of those when they were the official newspaper. However, those numbers, and I can give them to you, but they're not comparing apples to apples because we do not publish the same quantity of notices each time. So in 2025, there was a lot of legal notices published related to the drainage management and some of those pieces, and so that's not the equivalency. So I felt like a comparison of what we did pay versus what we would have paid and what the difference was gave you a little better picture of what those cost differences would be.
Thank you. And I do understand that it's not exactly apples to apples on some of this. Do we have a lot of legal notices that require a second printing or other subsequent printings? Is that?
Public Works has several that require 3 printings, and then with the Drainage Authority, they also had some that required 3 printings. County Auditor is required to print the delinquent tax list, but that list is not identical at the second printing, because if anybody comes in and cures, then that list is different. So those would not be identical duplicate printings. The identical duplicate printings come out of Public Works, and there are quite a few of them.
Thank you. Are there any questions for Lisa from the board? All right, hearing none, thank you so much. You've heard the presentation from the auditor. Does anyone wish to make a motion?
Mr. Chair, I would move that we take the lower of the 2 bids from the Lakes Area Review.
Thank you. Is there a second? Hearing none, the motion dies for lack of a second. Is there another motion to be made?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make the first motion for 2026-1, and the resolution is 2026-1. And I'd like to make a motion that the bid would go to West Central Tribune.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second that, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Discussion. Commissioner Imdek.
Thank you. Yeah, for many years, the argument has been made that because there's online presence with the West Central Tribune, that
that compels us to go with them. And there currently is online availability of all the legal notices at no cost to anybody from the Lakes Area Review as well.
Commissioner Berg.
Mr. Chair, thank you, Mr. Chair. Often in the past, the directors of both newspapers gave little updates, and I was wondering if we could request that again.
I'm sorry?
I was wondering if anybody in the audience, if they would want to give any updates or comments at all, if that's appropriate.
Go ahead. And Ted, just for the record, please just identify yourself.
Ted Almain, publisher of the Lakes Area Review. Yeah, I mean, my bid's pretty self-explanatory, as Roger did say. However, just recently, we're just bringing an online website online. We do plan on putting all the legal notices on there for free, so anybody can see them if they want to. If they want to see the legal notices online. Also, our paper goes to every address in New London, Spicer, Townsend routes, and all the real routes that abut it, including Pennock, Sunberg, and Wilmer Route 4. I don't know if you had noticed, I did include in my bid a notation asking you to consider using both newspapers. I know it's an extra cost. We've been doing that in Swift County for 5-6 years, and in Chippewa County for much longer than that. We own the Clare City Herald and the Kirkland Banner as well. As I think I said in my note to you, we feel well, I think the county is fortunate to have two good newspapers. Legal notices have become a very important part of the revenue for newspapers, as Kelly will agree. But maybe more importantly, citizen knowledge is very important to the county and to the county commissioners. I feel for relatively small cost, you could include you could give easy access to people throughout the county, or most parts of the county, by adopting the same proposal that we're doing in Swift County and in Chippewa County. Other than that, my bid is fairly straightforward. We would appreciate the business, of course. Certainly understand that you have to make a decision based on what you feel is best for the county. And thank you for the opportunity.
Ted, thank you so much. Did anyone have any questions for Ted before he? No? All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Kelly, same thing, just introduce yourself.
Kelly Bolden, the editor and site manager at the West Central Tribune. With our bid, we have the coverage with the West Central Tribune, plus also it's provided free in the Reminder, which is for all non-subscribers in the county. Ted and I are friends. We both serve on the M&A board. We both believe in newspapers, and the county is very fortunate to have two good newspapers here from that standpoint. So thank you for supporting us both this past year, and good luck with your decision.
Thank you. Were there any questions for Kelly?
No questions, but I'll have a comment when the question period is over.
Were there any questions for Mr. Bolden?
Great, thank you.
All right, then Roger, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So I would not be comfortable spending the extra money because we seem to be putting a lot of pressure on property taxes as it is, but certainly I could support alternating the official newspaper, especially in light of the fact that the Lakes Area Review now is providing free access to everybody for the legal printings. And so I guess there's no real reason to spend the extra money at this time.
Thank you. I'm going to look to either the administrator or the auditor for a clarification on the idea that Mr. Almain brought up, using both newspapers. And I don't know that we have the ability to award to both. Do I understand that correctly? Or Shane?
You can provide a secondary, and I think what Ted is referring to is what Swift and Chippewa do is they have an official newspaper and they have a secondary. And with knowing that information, then they alternate throughout, and each year, each newspaper takes a year. And it's a conversation I think the publishers have on the price. And so it's a consistent price that's being brought to the county board, and to ensure that local business stays within local business, that we're utilizing every other newspaper.
Statute does address that.
Yes, and statute does address that is a viable solution to do.
The other piece is, we are required to print the financial statements in 2 newspapers, and so we do that. So we're printing it in the official newspaper and the other newspaper in the county, and that is done annually. That is also required by statute.
And I also recall that I think in years past, we have made that secondary newspaper designation.
We do every time.
Does that typically require a different resolution?
Yes.
You would have to call it out in the resolution. If the board were to choose to do the secondary, we could list we could amend the resolution, add the secondary, and then moving forward, for 27, 28, the future, we could always add that language within the resolution that would have the official newspaper along with the secondary newspaper listing that as well.
Thank you. Commissioner Imdeck.
Thank you. So by listing a secondary newspaper, would we be accepting the bid that was placed? So essentially, we'd be doing what Mr. Almain is saying, is that we would be paying both newspapers for that rate.
Correct.
So if we have a secondary paper, this isn't about just printing the financial statements or property taxes or that
Be
type
all
of
of
thing.
it. Yep.
So if we had a secondary, we would be, in fact, paying both newspapers to run
Correct.
all legals.
Correct.
Okay. That's the clarification that I was looking for, because I thought when we had done that secondary, and maybe it wasn't a secondary designation that we've done in years
I
past.
thought it was, but maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah. And, you know, if statute requires that we have that second newspaper for those other publications, then maybe that second resolution isn't necessary.
Correct. That's how I would read it. But again, I would defer to Shane for.
Shane, you're still looking?
No, my reading has been the same as what everyone's been saying here.
Mr.
Shane, can you repeat what you said?
Oh,
Pull your mic.
the conversation that's been had, I agree with what people are saying about.
Would you-
what's required.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
would you summarize that, please?
What's been said is the way I read the statutes too. So, one primary, if you have a secondary, then you don't need, you'd have the other costs, and you do need multiple for the financials.
You would pay both then?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, any other, Commissioner Delander?
So what's the extra cost if we do the secondary? I mean, how much does it actually get to be? I know you can't say exact, but how much more do you think it would be?
Mr. Chair?
Let me, let's get Dale's question asked and answered first. Is that all right? Or,
I was just gonna suggest that she could use last year's numbers because she made the
Right.
comparison.
Yes, I have those for you. So for 2025, and this was year-to-date through payments that have been processed through December 17th, we paid the West Central Tribune $28,343.10. Had those been based on the bids for Lakes Area Review, that would have been $23,984.16. So that was a difference of $4,358.94. So if you were to publish them both, you'd be increasing your cost by that $23,000.
so, just so I understand, we would be paying then over $50,000 to
Correct.
publish in both
Yes.
newspapers. Okay. Commissioner Berg.
Thank you, Mr.
Or,
Chair.
Dale, did we get?
Yep, no, that's what I was trying to figure out, yeah.
Right.
Commissioner Berg.
Those are stripped out of there.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Actually, I kind of like the idea that we do fund both newspapers, but it gets a little bit more complicated, as we can see, and it is a significant amount of money. On the other hand, what we would get, the value to more transparency, more information, or support that in our communities is really important. So, but I'm also concerned then, if we just automatically did that, having the bids really do probably help keep the prices down. And so I don't know how we would deal with that as well. But I do like that idea very much, and that we wouldn't have to go through this every year. And I think in a budget our size, we certainly could afford that if we felt it'd be reasonable.
So, Mr. Chair. 28,000, Lisa, the 28,984 we would have paid Lakes Area Review last year, wouldn't we have to subtract out of that what we paid them for publishing the legal or the financial statement? Is it the financial?
The financial statement is stripped out of there.
Oh, okay.
Commissioner Dale Anderson.
Well, I guess I just want to say a comment more than a question, but, you know, we are blessed by having two good papers. I know it got me in trouble 4 years ago when I had to be the one to vote on this when it was a big change, but, I partly feel that the New London paper does such a great job of reporting on what we do in here, and the Wilmer paper covers the southern half of the county, so we're getting the best of both worlds to me, and I really want to thank both of you, because I really think we do have great coverage for our county. So that's the only thing, but if we could support both of them and people would think that was okay, I think that would be a great way to do it also, but we do have very, very good newspapers, and I thank you guys.
Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Berg.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I also like to point out, from my point of view anyway, that West Central Tribune is more of a regional newspaper. And there's, I suppose, good or bad, you could look at that because if we're looking at just Candioi County for the bids. But we are a regional, and to stay as a regional center, that we do want that. And we do want that paper as well spread out further, that if people are looking for that for bids, that would be an option as well. But now there's plans to go with the internet even more. So I kind of still like the concept of if we could somehow finagle both of them. I'm not sure how we do that to make everybody happy or keep the price down. I'm not sure. That's my concern.
Are there any other questions or comments from members of the board? Commissioner Emdek.
So I think we can get the best of both worlds. We accept the low bid and we accept the low bid this year, and we alternate awarding the contract from year to year. This essentially is about the legal notifications.
Correct.
And that legal notification has been satisfied.
Thank you. Any last questions? Or, Lisa, did you have something?
Well, just to Roger's point, right, what you are voting on is what is the official paper that we publish the legal notifications in. It doesn't deal with who shows up to report on the board action and activities. We are strictly choosing the official newspaper for where we publish our legal notices. And so the legal notices are the delinquent taxes, Public Works bid notices, the Drainage Authority notices, and like I said, the financial statements, we do have a statutory requirement to publish those in both newspapers. So that's what this is about. Where do we publish the legal notices?
Commissioner Berg.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. If I understand what people are saying is that we would accept the lowest bid, but we'd alternate each newspaper each year after that? It doesn't make sense to, the lowest bid, that doesn't really matter after the first year then, right? Right back to, there's no point in bidding if you're gonna alternate every year afterwards. Is that what you're saying?
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
That is a contradiction of sorts. I think the statute actually states that you should be taking the lowest bid.
And I'll ask for clarification from whoever wants to give that, because I know different bid processes might have different rules, but we don't always have to take the lowest bid. It's, is the statutory language, Shane, lowest responsible bidder? I mean, boards typically have latitude to accept bids that are not necessarily the lowest.
Well, yeah, that's what it says for the bidding process.
Okay. Any other questions, comments?
I just think it's
Dwayne Anderson,
lowest reasonable bid.
that's it. Okay. All right, so at this time, we have a motion and a second on the floor to move Resolution 2026-01 and appoint the West Central Tribune as the official newspaper for 2026. Are we ready to vote? All in favor of the motion as brought forward signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Nay.
Thank you. That motion passes. Thank you both so much, and I just want to echo what you pointed out and what we all already know here, and that we are exceptionally fortunate to have two outstanding newspapers in our community. So, Commissioner Berg.
I really would like to encourage everybody still to think next year coming around that we look at both newspapers as much as possible, make them as full as possible. They're both very important in our community. You know. I think both bring different things to the table. Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you all now. All right, at this time, we'll move to the reorganizational meeting, and Kelsey, do you kind of want to preface this for us, or shall I? Go for it, she says. All right. So at this point in time, what we're talking about here is the different boards, committees, commissions that we all serve on, and in your packet, we have two separate lists. One is kind of the quick guide as to which committee we have a primary and an alternate on. There are a number of different committees where the entire board meets as a whole. Some of these, is anyone here, have we ever had a noxious weed meeting? Roger, have you had?
I'm not aware of one ever
in your
taking
time, but it's there.
Yeah,
And
Mr. Chair, I think that one is just if there can't be a resolution at the, with the noxious weed inspector, so I think then it comes before that board.
sure. And so there are some of those types of things. Some of these are monthly meetings. Some of them are on, exceptionally important boards, and others that are maybe sometimes advisory as much as anything else. But nevertheless, we all divide that out and take responsibility for representing the county on all of these different boards. I would like to ask first, does anyone have any burning desire to pick up or get rid of any committees that, that they're on. Commissioner Dale Anderson.
Well, there is a couple that intrigued me a little bit that I was writing notes about, but, do you want me to say which ones?
Yeah, why don't you go ahead?
Well, the Health and Human Services one, I would really be interested in, if that's an option. And then the Planning and Zoning Board is the other one.
All right. And of course, we have incumbents serving in each of those. And perhaps as we go through the list, they might wish to offer up whether or not they wish to continue or what have you. So I don't know that there, other than that, does anyone else have anything like that? Because I'm pretty happy with all the different assignments that I have, for example. And so, and I think we had a pretty good year representing the county last year, frankly. So I know that in years past, we've gone through each and every single one of these individually. I don't, Commissioner Imdak.
Thank you. So we work pretty hard to try to balance out these committee assignments amongst the five of us. So I would ask Commissioner Anderson if he were to be on one of these two committees that he mentioned, which ones you would be interested in getting off of.
I didn't think about that way.
You just wanted more work.
Well,
I really don't know, to be honest, Roger.
Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Berg.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Commissioner Anderson, you mentioned Health and Human Services Committee, which I serve on as well, and I'm fairly knowledgeable about that committee, and I enjoy being on that. On the other hand, I am very knowledgeable about that. I know you expressed in the past that you were interested in it, and then we even talked about it last year, and then you weren't, and now you are. I'm just kind of wondering how negotiable this is. My turn's coming up for lunches in about 3 months. No, joking aside, if you're interested, I would be willing to switch. I'm not sure switch with you for anything, but.
I mean, the world ain't gonna
And-
end
and
if I
be
don't
a-
get on them, but I mean, it was just
Yeah.
ones that I wrote down. That's-
And maybe I could be the alternate then too, to fill in for
that'd be fine.
for both of you. Because it is an interesting committee and it is an important committee and there's a lot happening there. But I think it'd be good going forward that people do get some different experiences.
Understood. All right. So, it's probably just as easy to, does anyone have a preference as to which list we want to work off of? Probably the more involved list. Let's kind of go through that. I do want to, very briefly, if we can, I do want to point out a couple of items where there are, when we approve these committees, for example, there are various appointments and reappointments on the Planning Commission as well as the Board of Adjustment, was it? That would take place, that folks have already found either replacements for or reappointments. So those are already noted in our lists here. And those would go into effect once we approve all of the various committee appointments.
Mr. Chair, if I may?
You go ahead and then I've got Dale.
Oh, I'm sorry, okay. As a question for Roger, Commissioner Imdak, you got the Extension Committee, right? Yeah, I think my name is down on that,
Yeah, it's flipped around, I seen that.
Yeah, so might want to put his name on there instead of mine.
Mr. Chair,
Go ahead.
Administrator Bricker, I have a printed version here. Is that different than what's on here? It's a lot easier to look at the printed version than scrolling through here.
No, that version that you have is correct too.
Okay.
Not correct, but It's always hard.
The same.
It's the same that's on there. But correct, Commissioner Imdike is on extension. If I may suggest for Commissioner Anderson, if there was a board that Commissioner Imdike could sit on, if you were to swap, I would maybe recommend CCT for Commissioner Imdike.
That's what I was just gonna say.
That's, they've also gone through some changes, and I think that would be beneficial for Roger to sit on that as well. But
I
that's
sit on
up to
that
you
board
guys.
and I agree.
And I do actually sometimes have a conflict with that one also. That was why I was thinking about.
When does it meet?
It typically meets,
It's on a Friday, yeah, it's the third Friday,
thank you.
third Friday of every month,
9 AM?
9 AM, yep.
And that is an organization going through some transition at this time. So to the administrator's point, Roger, your experience here might be,
I think at this point, I would prefer to remain on planning and zoning.
okay. All right, so,
Just as a point of clarity, as we get to these various committees where we have a citizen appointee, are we gonna make them as we get to them, or how is that gonna work?
I'll
Did you say
defer to
we
the
already have them?
administrator on this. I think those are already accounted for in here.
Then this probably isn't up to date.
I have not received anything.
Right.
Since November, when this was distributed to the board. Melissa had distributed this. The last board meeting, I said to contact me if you have any appointees. I did receive one from one commissioner. That citizen appointee is within your packet. Yep, for Planning Commission. Vicki Davis has agreed to serve on our Planning Commission. Her name is included in that board packet. I did not receive any other names from the commissioners for citizen appointees.
Okay, Mr. Chair, I do have someone for planning and zoning to replace John Neldner, who was given his notice of resignation because of changes in his employment. And the person would be Ben Johnson from New London, living in Irving Township. And I apologize to Administrator Baker, I did inform Director Van Dyken that I had somebody there, but I
Okay.
forgot to.
Yeah, and I had reached out to the director and asked for a list by district. And it was simply noted at that time also that that position needed a replacement. The at-large position, which is held by former County Commissioner Raleigh Nissen, needs reappointment, and that would be assumed upon adoption of this. But you have Mr. Johnson for that other opening?
The Neldner one, yes.
Yep.
He could have been, John Neldner could have been, had another term, but he's chosen not to.
Sure. And you had made the appointment for District 1.
For District 1, Vicki Davis, please, yes. So if we approve all those, then that's the same as approving that individually, and I'm going to be happy to contact.
Are those on the planning and zoning?
Yeah, this would be planning and zoning. And there is a reappointment for District 1 on the Board of Adjustment.
Yes, and I do not have one person yet.
Pardon me?
I do have to get someone for that position.
Oh,
yet.
and is the person who is on there now willing to be reappointed?
No.
Ah, okay. All right, so then, yeah, you need to find someone else. Sure. All right, well, let's do this. Let's kind of take the planning commission separately on this, just because of these appointments that need to be noted then, that for District 4, the position there would be filled by Ben Johnson of New London, and then for District 1, Vicki Davis of Wilmer. And then you'll be finding someone for that Board of Adjustment.
Board of Adjustment.
Does the Does the board agree with this?
Who would Vicky Davis be replacing on here?
That is Dan Haldane. Was it Dan?
Yep.
Okay.
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Yes, I think with all the changes taking place on planning and zoning, it'd be a good idea that Commissioner Emdek stay on there. Somebody with experience that he has with this many years.
All right. Commissioner Anderson, anything else to add in that regard? All right. Well, let's just affirm then the appointments on the planning commission for now.
Mr. Chair, I so move that we make affirm all those appointments on the Canada County Planning and Zoning Commission as listed.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you. Any discussion? All right, hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That motion passes. And then now I can get out of that screen and go back over here. So let's just kind of go through, and I'm just gonna take several of these. Supporting Hands Nurse Family Partnership, myself and Commissioner Dale Anderson served there, as well as the Candy High Renville Community Health Board. Just give me a head nod if anyone has any.
I see there's an open position, and I'm looking at the older paper, so it may have been, maybe that's old news too.
I would have to check with the director on that appointment.
Yeah, and it might be Renville.
Yeah, it might be Renville.
I do believe that it was Renville from the last meeting we had, yes.
Yep, I think that's correct. Scrolling through, Candido County Board of Adjustment, that's the one that you're going to
Give somebody.
find someone for.
Can I,
Yes,
it was on a different page where we had the quick things, whatever it is, we kind of skipped over the Glacial Lake Sanitary and Sewer and Water. Can we include this in your slate of appointees that will probably make one motion? You know, until we get to one that we have to have a discussion about?
yeah, I'm just looking at the list that I have here, and I didn't see that there was anybody that needed a reappointment this time.
No, but we still need to acknowledge all the committees that we've affirmed them.
Oh, yes, yeah, so certainly we'll note that, and I apologize, that was
I missed
the bottom of the other page, so. Glacial Lake Sanitary Sewer and Water District, moving forward. Extension Committee, that was already mentioned here. Canada County HRA, and that is fully staffed with, at the moment. Woodland Centers, where Commissioner
With this here, on my list, it says there's an open position,
Yeah, mine does too.
so it's filled? Okay.
Who's filled it?
that was the one, Shelley Gazy. Is that the one you were looking at?
Yep,
That should be the newest appointee to the HRA board.
yep. In the packet, it's updated.
Thank you.
Once approved, if I may then, Mr. Chair, once
Yes.
approved, and all the corrections are made, I can send out the updated list to the Board of Commissioners.
And this would have been a failing on my part as well, but for several of these committees, we don't have the 2026 meeting dates yet.
Yep.
So if those of us who are serving on those committees see that the 25 meeting dates are still there, let's get updates to admin so they can add those in as well. Woodland Centers, where Commissioner Berg serves. Pioneer Land Regional Library, Commissioners Andersons both serve on that. Community Corrections Advisory Committee, and I'm happy to see that is, we have additional members from the veterans community. I think a year or two ago, we were starting to see some folks going off of that, and they weren't being replaced, so I'm glad to see that we have, oh, no, I'm sorry, I'm thinking of veterans. Yeah, sorry about
You're
that.
jumping.
Community Corrections, Veteran Service Advisory, the very next one. So now my comment is valid. To this point, anything here that anybody needs to make any changes on? Going forward, North Fork Crow River Watershed District, Commissioner Imdeck and Commissioner Dale Anderson as alternate. Would you like to discuss very briefly the AIS Task Force Committee that we have on here, and we're seeing that as a deletion?
Mr. Chair, could I suggest that what we've done so far, we go ahead and affirm?
Let's go.
There's probably gonna be some discussion here.
Is that a motion?
Yeah, yes, I'd move on to committees that we have just covered. Down through North Fork, Crow River Watershed District, one watershed, one plan. Oh, no, that's not the one watershed, one plan, that's the regular water district. Okay,
All right, is that a motion?
yes.
Thank you. I'll second. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That motion passes. AIS Task Force Committee. So that is scheduled for elimination. And I know we've received a couple of comments on that. And Commissioner Imdeck, did you wish to address this?
You know, I know we did pass the resolution, but, you know, some question came up about the funding that still remains in place. And I'm pretty sure Commissioner Dwayne Anderson would agree with me that that's been a very active committee, and I'm wondering if that was the right thing to do. Because there's a lot of grants that are awarded, and there's a lot of discussion on each of the grants every year, and I really like to see the citizens of the county being involved where they're able to be involved in. And so I'm wondering if we did the right thing here.
Commissioner Anderson.
Yep, so the problem with it is next year it's gonna be cut in half, their budget. And it'd be nice to maybe get a little bit of a head start on savings, and I believe we pay out about $1,500 a year in per diems, and we could use that towards you know, projects if we can. Krista Krupa, she's a new lead on this here, and she's very open to allowing people that are part of, you know, like lake associations or concerned citizens in general to just come in and visit with her, and she's very open to that. And she will still keep sending out emails to the different lake associations and people that are interested you know, with updates on any kind of information for aquatic invasive species. So, you know, it's hard to cut sometimes, but at the same time, when you have a severe or drastic cut like that, I think you gotta kind of try to get ahead of it, and we can kind of see how it goes this year. And then, you know, we can always make changes in the future, so.
Commissioner Dwayne Anderson. Or Dale.
The funding is still gonna be there, so we're still gonna funnel the money through if we get funding for it, and there's still an opportunity for the people to be involved if they want to, if I'm understanding it right.
As well as the involvement from the various lake associations and that.
Right.
Type of thing as well. Commissioner Berg and then Commissioner Imdeck.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. If I understand this right, I think it's really important that the citizens really want to be part of this, and I think we have to give every opportunity that they are involved. And it's, we have other committees that there's no funding, any funding available, but we still have citizens, and we pay per diems to them as well. So if we have a committee that's of some value, and that's the other question, is it of a value of the committee? And if people feel it is. I'm not on that committee, so I really can't speak on behalf of it, but if there's a concern from the people on the committee that they are doing a good job, I think we have to listen to that.
Commissioner Imdeck and then Commissioner Dwayne Anderson.
Yeah, and I would concur with what Commissioner Berg is saying. We take funding from the levy to get the input of the citizens on virtually every other committee that we have. This is one that when the money was awarded from the legislature to counties for AIS, at that time, the decision was made to make those dollars, to have the per diems paid out of that. At a time when the budget is being cut in half might be the most important time for citizens to be involved, at least in this next year, when the funding is still there, so that they can help guide the process into the future. And that's what they're asking for is to be able to have a conversation amongst the task force as to how we move forward in 2027 when the budgeting, or when the budget is actually cut.
Right now, there are several lake associations in the county, and they can bring anything forward to Kristen. She's been very open to meeting with them if they want to meet, and that way you can kind of work around having this meeting versus you can meet with the different lake associations. Or as a whole, they can have a countywide lake association meeting, and then she would be willing to come and address them.
And Dwayne, the Commissioner Anderson, this committee had been meeting monthly.
Yes.
Did you,
Not always, but sometimes meetings would be canceled, but yeah, it was scheduled every month.
Roger?
Yeah, and I'm uncomfortable with placing the ultimate authority in one person, even though I trust Krista and that she would listen to the lake associations, but essentially puts the lake associations at odds with each other. And as a board, they were much more judicial in discussing, because I was there when we've discussed grant after grant after grant to the different lakes. And I know that they don't take that lightly.
I'll ask the administrator, we'd taken a previous action on this, correct? Or not?
No action has been taken on removing it. It was talked about that it was going to be removed going into 2026, and that was staff's recommendation to remove it. I would hope there wouldn't, in doing this, it wouldn't put the lake associations at odds, that we still would be able to work together. My understanding in talking with Commissioner Anderson and the staff is that these meetings have been canceled because of low attendance. There's no intention of staff to not administer the program that we have been doing and to not talk to lake associations or the public or any citizen moving forward. The intent is to still communicate with the public and the lake associations and any individual regarding AIS work within Candioi County. The intention is to continue to go after the grants and do the work that we have been doing within Candioi County to improve our situations with AIS. But as Commissioner Anderson said, the program is looking to be cut 50% going into 2027. The future remains unknown of how much funding the counties will receive moving forward. And so this was a first step, but it's not, and still this task force is not necessarily a board, but also is an advisory task force that guides the staff in the work of the grants that we are getting and provide input. And so I think, I don't want there to be confusion that the staff won't go to these individuals and lake associations for guidance and input moving forward. That still will be done. That's my understanding from talking to Commissioner Anderson and the Director of Environmental Services.
Thank you. Commissioner Imdek.
So, with that argument, we could say that about all our committees. Let's save the money and let's just let the department head make all the decisions on, in Candido County, Renville Community Health, we'll let Sarah and Caroline make the decisions and on and on and on about all the committees. Have we considered a meeting less often, like quarterly, for the AIS task force? And, certainly, there seems to be, if you read your emails, there was a lot of consternation about this. And I think it's valid to allow them to be part of the process if we wind it down.
It's a nice problem to have, it's exactly, yes.
Yeah, and I think, and let me see if I'm hearing correctly, is that I think what's being also said is that there's nothing that's going to preclude these individuals from continuing to be able to voice their opinions and concerns if this committee does not exist. Okay, I just wanted to get some clarification on that. Commissioner Imdek.
And again, that's true of all of our advisory committees that are not in place as a result of statute. Like the community corrections is is in place, is there by statute.
As well as
Lot-
the Candido Renville,
Several of them are, but most of them are not. And so you could make that argument again for every other committee is that, well, they know how to reach us, here's the phone number.
I'm going to ask the board what their wishes are on this. The recommendation from staff has been to eliminate this committee.
Mr. Chair, I would make a motion that we do not eliminate this committee at this time and that we allow for the next year for the AIS committee to work with the director of the AIS task force to figure out a way how to move forward with the reduced funding.
Mr. Chair, I'll second that motion.
We have a motion and a second discussion. I'm going to ask for a clarifier on this, Roger, because you made you asked the question if there has been any discussion about reducing these from monthly meetings to quarterly meetings. Is that something that you would entertain within your motion?
Mr. Chair, thank you. I don't think it's necessary at this point as they go through this process. They may want to meet more than 4 times to iron this out and get to an acceptable position. And so, but going forward, if we then, beyond 2026, have an AIS task force, certainly that would be a consideration then.
All right, thank you, Commissioner Dwayne Anderson.
So the issue with this, we don't have to meet. The statute does not say that we have to meet. And so it's kind of unnecessary in a lot of ways. I know it's important to people, but that's what the lake associations are for. And they can do it that way. And then they can present to Krista Krupa, or she can come to their meetings if they request that. If we still want to meet, that's fine. But we do have serious cutbacks on this here for the next year. And it's nice, it would be nice to kind of get ahead of it a little bit, so. And I'll just say one other thing about, Krista did put a lot of thought into this, and she's been struggling with it, but faced with the cuts that we're having, I'm glad that she's on top of things, and she's being very proactive on how to deal with this going forward.
Thank you. Commissioner Dale Anderson.
Well, I guess I want to echo a little bit what Dwayne is saying. I think the biggest thing is the lake associations that we have in our county are very active. It'd be different if they weren't active and they weren't doing anything. Then to me, I think this would be a very important thing to keep. But the fact that they're so active and they have the opportunity to come in with concerns, we do have things that are going to definitely be coming up from these lakes. There's definitely invasive species, things that are always going to keep popping up. But we have very active lake associations, so I think as long as they have the opportunity to bring issues to the table and have them addressed, if we can find some funding, then that's the way we can do it.
Commissioner Berg.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. You bring up the lake associations, and I guess I just want to be really clear that I don't think anybody's really trying to say that we need this because the lake associations are not doing their job. We got, like you said, good lake associations, but this is, in my limited knowledge, I guess, is a different program as well, and it's worked, and we got citizens' input in that, and I think that's what we're here for, is if we got citizens that have on a committee, I think it's valuable, I think we have to listen to them.
Yeah, and I would point out that we don't have, not all lakes in the county have lake associations.
Any final comments? And Roger, would you just restate the motion again, please?
I'll ask.
Or can we ask
Leah to
staff to
restate
do
the
that?
I have motion to not eliminate. I didn't go into elaboration on everything else that you said, but motion to not eliminate and keep the meetings at monthly.
So the monthly part of it, Mr. Chair, I'll redo the motion. I would move that we do not eliminate the AIS task force and allow them over the next year to work with the director the AIS director to figure out how to deal with the budget cuts for 2027.
And you were the seconder? or you-
I will, Mr. Chair.
All right, just to be clear then.
Yes, thank you.
Very good. Any final comments on this, on the motion as restated, Commissioner Imdick?
Yeah, I would just, I'm curious as to why there seems to be this urgency being refunded for 2026, why this urgency to eliminate the AIS task force at the end of 2025.
Yeah, I would not have an answer to that, and I assume that these are conversations that staff have had and you're familiar with.
I think it's just being proactive, Mr. Chair.
Okay, that sounds fair enough. All right, we have a motion and a second on the floor to continue with the AIS task force and to direct staff to work with the task force members on a way forward. I guess that's my summary of it. Does that sound about right? All right, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
All right,
Aye. 2 ayes, 3 nays, the motion fails. All right, thank you for the discussion, everybody. I knew there was some heartburn over this, and so I appreciate that. Next, we have a number of internal committees and appointments that we have. Allied Radio Matrix Armors, Commissioner Dwayne Anderson is currently chair of that committee. Broadband, Dwayne and Roger, Kelsey serve on that. Budget and Finance, it's the board as a whole along with staff. Anything in these lists, buffer drainage and ditch, legal counsel, that's Ricky Noonan. Buildings, public lands, building committee, CMJTS, Central Community Transit, Chamber of Public Policy, Chippewa River Watershed District Board, Convention and Visitors Bureau, Counties Providing Technology. Any comments or concerns on those? Commissioner Bird.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd just like to go back and visit the Budget and Finance Committee, the board as a whole, and I think it should be the board as a whole, of course. And then this, Administrator Baker and Karen Anderson on this as well. We did have some conversation in the past about, a finance advisory committee, or what do you want to call, a subcommittee. And the normal practices, as I understand, in the past and in this current, is that the administrator then consults with the chair and the vice chair and go over the budget. And I'm thinking that if we had an appointment of a committee, we would work through the budget even better if the people who are in the committee weren't people just because they were in that position, but somebody who was interested in being that or has some background or expertise in finance, that we could leave that open. And I'm not sure, we don't address that. Even when we talk about, the administrator consults with the chair and the vice chair about the budget. And if that's the case, I'm just thinking we should maybe have some discussion if we have a subcommittee then. And that subcommittee is then the board and the vice chair, or it could be other people.
All right, thank you for that. Anyone else?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
so budgeting is part of finance, so it's kind of backwards the way it is here. And I agreed, it does list, and it is always listed, board as a whole, and I think it'd be much more productive. I don't think we'd find ourselves at the end of the deadline for certifying the budget and still working on the budget if the whole board was involved earlier on in the process. We are the Finance and Budget Committee, so I'm just encouraged that that's how we start on the budget next year is get the board involved earlier on, so that we can roll up our sleeves and do the hard work, because it's gonna get harder moving forward.
I'm hearing what both of you are, Dale, did you have something?
no.
I'm hearing what both of you are saying, and I think the prior process and the current process of involving the chair and the vice chair initially and going forward on the budget, I think is helpful for those two folks. And I think it is probably helpful for the staff as well to get a sense of where priorities potentially may or may not lie. And those would be board priorities, not individual ones. I think certainly our past chairs and vice chairs have been very cognizant of the fact that they're looking for a board outcome as opposed to individual preferences.
Well, I guess, just sitting here thinking, how much earlier do you want us to be involved? I mean, I think we had involvement kind of throughout the whole year, so I'm a little confused with your statement, Roger. How do you want it to be more involved? I mean, we can't start basically working on the budget until we kind of get everything figured out at a certain point. So how do you start earlier? I guess that's my only thought, just sitting here listening and thinking right now.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
So when the initial budget was presented to us for the preliminary approval, I think it was in August, that would have been a great time to start having work sessions. And, you know, we would have avoided having that last minute one, I think, on the very day of truth and taxation. So that's where I would start the process, where we involve the whole board. And to Mr. Gardner's point, all of us, doing a budget is really complicated. I think every one of us has said, look, this isn't our favorite part of this job, but it is the most important part of our job, and understanding it is the only way we'll get it right. And so by being involved early on in work sessions, we will understand that budget far better than we have in the past.
Commissioner Dwayne Anderson.
Yeah, I think our budgeting and our finance pretty much is always ongoing because we talk about it during legislative session. And we really can't start deciding how to work on our budget until after the legislature is basically done voting. And that basically is the end of May. And I believe we had several work sessions this year regarding the budget, more than we've ever done. And so I commend the staff for being very good to work with us and to meet what we were basically demanding from them. I mean, it was a lot that we asked of them, and they came out and they provided us answers whenever we needed them, so.
Commissioner Berg and then Commissioner Dale Anderson.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chair. I still would like to go back to the finance and budget aspect of having a subcommittee, which we almost act that way because the budget sometimes presented, or at least this is my 8th year of experiences, that the county administrator, you know, ran it by the chair and the vice chair and it presented to the board. And you assume then that the chair and the vice chair have gotten into that budget and they were recommending that budget. And I think that we should formalize that and not ignore it if we're really recognizing it that way. And this whole concept where I'm coming from is not just something out of the air. Many counties have a separate finance committee and budget committee that sit down with the administrator and work together on that budget. So when it is presented to the board, you know, you got into it. I know one county that one of the commissioners knew on the board wasn't an accountant. Well, that person was, yeah, want to be on this committee. You know, we want to use people's skills. So when you get a board, some people don't have a lot of skills about budgets. Some people have a whole lot of skills about budget. And same with other things. We try to get on committees that we are of interest or where we can give something to. And we want to, of course, learn something new too about what's going on. But I think it's a good idea to look at that, if not this year, in the future.
So if I may ask, looking for a point of clarification. It's your suggestion that we show under here board as a whole, the 2 staff members, and then are you suggesting to add a subcommittee of 2 members, just formalize whether it's the, say, chair and vice chair?
Yes.
Is that?
Yes.
Okay, so that's
And we
kind of
could-
what you're recommending.
And,
to do.
yep, and it could be the chair and vice chair, you know, that'd be the subcommittee.
Yeah,
I mean, we operate that way, but
Yeah.
I'm thinking we should.
And
we
that's,
should
and
change
and
that.
that's been longstanding practice, to have the chair and vice chair.
In our county, it has.
Yeah.
Other counties, it's not.
Yeah, understood. Commissioner Dale Anderson,
No, I think I got my answer.
thank you. Commissioner Imdeck.
We had 2 work sessions this year. We had other presentations that were informal, but they were not work sessions. So we've had two. And I think to the point that I've made before about work sessions is that questions that we ask as a group triggers questions from others and triggers and helps understanding of other members of the board on this. And I see no harm. To Mr. Berg's point, if this is going to be the chair and the vice chair, then let's list it as chair and vice chair, not as board of the whole.
Mr.
Because
Chair,
basically the board is just ratifying them.
you're kind of painting people, right now it's a board as a whole. Any of us can go talk to the administrator or staff regarding questions, and if you say it's gonna be just the chair and vice chair, now you're limiting the rest of us, you know, that wouldn't be the
So-
chair or vice chair.
Just to be,
That's how I look at it.
yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. May I?
You may.
Yes, thank you. Yes, and that's the point. And you're the vice chair. Maybe you know more about this than I do, but my question is, it's presented to us as if the chair and the vice chair went over this, and you understood the budget, and you guys discussed it, and you presented it as a group to us, because it is the board as a whole. And we do have the board as a whole in subcommittees and other committees as well. So I'm just formalizing what's being presented to us. Because I'm assuming then, when you come here to, and administrator says that you went through the budget in detail with her and worked through all that.
But my
maybe you
point,
have.
my point is though that any of us really can go and see the administrator.
Oh, absolutely. I'm not
Talk to
saying
her
we
about
won't.
what's
And
going on.
We're very welcome to do so, yes.
Commissioner Imdet?
Yeah, I understand that any one of us can go and talk to the administrator, but that doesn't facilitate the understanding we get from each other's questions in a work session. And I don't see the harm in us having those work sessions. We ended up doing it on the last meeting of the year. This year, we had one, or the second last, I forget what date it was. But we could have had this done a lot earlier. If we wouldn't have had those work sessions, likely we would have had the initial blush of 8.5% increase that was the very first one that we saw that some people on this board supported.
All right, there's a couple, there's a couple of things in there, but I kind of want to try to keep us, oh, Dale.
Well, I guess I'd just like to say, I think our staff went over and above what other counties do to get the budget together and to do what we wanted them to do. So I think whether we do it 2 months ahead of time or the last week, it doesn't matter. We had great discussions. We had time to think about it. If you're not willing to go talk to the administrator about it, that's your decision. But the discussion was had, and it was our responsibility as commissioners to know and understand what was presented from way back in August when it first was presented. And if we didn't, then we should have asked them questions sooner. So I take it that it's more our fault than anybody else's fault if we didn't understand what was going on. I'm not arguing that we need to have a work session. We did. We had 2 of them on it. But I don't know that we need one in August because we don't know the numbers. We don't know the final, where things end up for the year. And we need to know that right at the last minute, to me, is when it's the most valuable to have that work session. So I don't have a problem with the process. Every county does it a little different. I understand that. I don't have a problem with what Corky's saying, just to list that committee out, just so that it's known for the future. But I think our process was done very well this year, and I think our staff put in a lot of time and did a lot of work on it, so.
So I think in the interest of time and moving this forward, because I thought this might go a little quicker this year, but, you know, perhaps this is unavoidable. Is it the sense of the board then that we just formalize, list out the chair and vice chair as, call it whatever we do, I guess, whether it's a subcommittee on that, or is that necessary to do?
Mr. Chair, I think the point here is to point out that the Budget and Finance Committee, Finance and Budget Committee is the board of the whole, and we should treat it as such.
Then let's leave it the way it is. That would be my recommendation, all right? And as to the point, because they're really 2 separate items, as to the point of additional work sessions, I think the one big beautiful bill probably through a lot of the process up in the air this past year. So we can work with staff to continue to refine the process. Does that sound fair enough? All right. Then, moving on, we'd gone through, down through page 34, down to counties providing technology. Anything that you want to cover on that page? All right, then the next page, recorder compliance, road and bridge, which is all of us again. The data practice authority, that's Shane. Drug task force, flood control, Glacial Ridge, Hawk Creek Watershed Project, Hawk Creek One Watershed, One Plan. I'm not going to go through the rest of that.
No.
Anything on that page that is of any concern or needs any change?
The Health and Human Services Committee.
That's the next page.
Next
That's,
page.
yeah, that's the next page.
We're looking at the hard.
So,
Okay. I see.
did you wish to address that one?
Well, Commissioner Dale Anderson was requesting to be put on there, and I don't know if Commissioner Burt wanted to go off or what. Okay.
So you're going to flip between which two?
Health and Human Services Committee, but I think you're still back on the question.
Oh, you're just-
Yeah, we jumped ahead again. I think you still want to know about the ones you just read off so far, and Mr. Chair, if I may
You may.
continue, thank you. Hot Creek Watershed Project, I've been on that for some time, and One Watershed Plan, and that involves at least 2 other commissioners, and if they're interested in that, I'd be appropriate, because Hot Creek does involve, and I'm on it because mainly of Wilmer and Foot Lake, and that's about the extent of it.
Okay.
And Eagle Lake too,
so you
but
would
that's
be-
somebody else's too.
So
there's
you
like-
would be offering that up for?
I'm just
someone
saying,
else if
or
they
down the road, just think about it, if you want another watershed plan, because the creek itself, it covers quite a few miles, going back and forth around the county, a lot in Commissioner Anderson's, both your areas as well.
Okay. So, anything else on that?
No.
Okay. Then, the Health and Human Service Committee, you're going to switch with Dale, and you'll remain as and you'll remain available as the alternate.
Yep, and he's,
All right, we'll make that notation. Historical Society Board, that's the Commissioners Anderson. Humane Society, I will continue to stay on that. Highway 23 Coalition, Commissioners Imdick, Dale Anderson, and Director Odens. Intergovernmental Relations, Corky, myself, and Kelsey. The EDC Board, Governing Board, Joint Powers Board, and then the Candiota County Drug-Free Coalition. Anybody wish to have any questions or comments on that page? All right, then, next page, Candiota High Safe Roads, Law Library, Middle Fork Crow River, MCIT, Mid-Minnesota Development, North Fork One Watershed Plan, Noxious Weed Appeal Committee, Office of Emergency Management, Pact for Families, and the Park Board. Any questions, comments, concerns on that page?
What was the last one we just did?
Park Board. That again is it's board as a whole, but the subcommittee is Dwayne and Dale.
Let's just affirm the ones that we get ourselves caught up here before we lose track of everything. Do we require a motion?
Pardon me?
Do we require a motion for affirming these?
Not yet, because we're still going through this, this group of, this.
Right, I was suggesting,
Committee type.
I was suggesting that we affirm what we've done so far and then resume so we don't kind of lose track here.
Well, I think
That's fine.
I think we've got 2 more pages to do is all, and then we could, take care of the rest of that. Does that sound okay? Then Personnel and Labor Relations, that's the chair and vice chair, the HR director and the administrator. Rogers Planning and Zoning for Paynesville Airport. That little anomaly, geographic anomaly that you have there that you serve on. Policy Committee, which is the chair and the vice chair. It says chair and vice, yeah, I just saw
That wasn't the case.
Go ahead.
Well, I had been serving on it, but this says chair and vice chair.
Yeah, I see that. What have, I guess maybe that's a holdover from when you were chair and when I was vice. And we just didn't change anything out.
Change to Stephen,
Pardon?
can be changed.
It can be changed. So, any thoughts or comments on that? You and I can currently serve on that policy committee.
Yeah, and I'm fine if it's chair and vice chair, but then maybe we should stop affirming everything above this one and have the discussion and make a motion if we're gonna change this.
Let's finish everything else but that, and then we'll come back to it. We can keep track of that. Prairie Lakes Youth Program Board, Commissioner Berg, and then Prairie Woods Environmental Learning Center. We have 3 commissioners there. Managing Board, Commissioner Dale Anderson and Commissioner Imdak, and then Board of Trustees is Commissioner Dwayne Anderson, which I think is appropriate, the 3 rural committees, 3 rural commissioners serving on those.
I think that should actually be labeled governing board.
That's what I was gonna say. That label is, the way it's labeled in here now isn't really accurate.
Governing instead of managing?
Yep, and it shouldn't, there is no board of trustees anymore either, is there, Roger?
I think we did eliminate the
I think there is, yeah. So that was the only thing I was gonna say. We probably need to look at that to make sure that,
All righty, let's just, we'll just ask staff to
check into it.
check into that
Yep.
and confirm it, and just present it in here as it exists today.
Yep,
And then Prime West, Commissioner Berg and myself serve on that as the primary and the alternate.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
You got Caroline listed as the alternate. I'm not sure she's really the alternate, is she?
We can check on that.
Because that's, yeah, I've never seen
I don't recall that
Just been
any
commissioners
of the other counties.
I have no-
but commissioners.
Previously, the Health and Human Services Director was on when we had 2. Our Health and Human Services Director sat, because then we had a supervisor sit at the directors' meeting. Jenny Lippert sat on it for many years, and then we had, that changed to the 2 of you. And then we can probably delete, I think Caroline attends the directors' meetings.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Yeah, so I don't remember that before, because we just joined Prime West. And, but the Prime West has a committee and a board of human service directors, and I believe she's on that now. Or she is on it, I know that.
Okay.
So she's on that board, and so she could be an alternate, but I've never seen any alternate human service directors. on the board.
We can make,
We're picking.
yeah, we can
I
make
mean,
this
my-
as an edit.
Yeah, I'm just
Actually-
saying, maybe that doesn't sound right, you know.
Yeah, and I think this one is another one where we probably could label it differently and call it Prime West Governing Board, because that's
Yes,
really what it is a governing board. and
She represents.
That would be elected
Health and Human
officials.
Services.
Okay. We'll make that edit, and then the final page here, Shakopee Headwaters, Southwest 18 Adult Mental Health, West Central Service Cooperative, Tourism Committee, UCAP, Vision 2040, West Central Industries, and West Central Mental Health Housing. My name must have got cut off at the very bottom of that page because both Neil and I are on that. So, any questions on that final page? All right, so with the exception of, help me, was that Policy Committee?
yep.
With the exception of Policy Committee, can I have a motion to ratify the,
And Prime West,
pardon?
and Prime West.
And Prime West. Oh, no, we're just making an edit there.
Yeah.
Roger. We're just crossing Caroline's name off of there.
And we should probably label that Prime West Governing Board.
Yep, that's fine. That's a simple edit. Governing board, joint powers, whatever.
Mr. Chair, I so moved.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Dale Anderson, and is there a second?
I'll second that, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, and any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. And then Policy Committee, are we suggesting then that we just go with what's written here now and make it the chair and vice chair? Would you wish to continue to?
I think we should formalize it if we're gonna do the chair and the vice chair, because I never got paid for the last 2 years. Or a year.
There it is. So the big bucks from coming out of the,
So, Mr. Chair, I would move that we formalize the policy committee as the chair and the vice chair.
thank you. Is there a second? The chair will second. And any discussion? Commissioner Berg.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. I would think as a chair and vice chair, and that's the question, you know, when you're in that position, do you really want to be on the policy committee? Maybe somebody else might want to be on that committee, and I'm not sure that it has to be a chair or vice chair either. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does, and it wouldn't have to be, but we have a motion and a second.
Some people really like policy.
Yep,
Let them have it.
yep. Well, and I think this chair does, so
Okay, all right,
God help me.
yes.
All right, any other discussion? We have a motion and a second to affirm the policy committee consisting of the chair and the vice chair for representation from this board. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. And with that, we will take a 6-minute recess.
I'm gonna hold you to that, Mr. Chair.
The Candido County Board of Commissioners is back from recess, and at this time, would request Administrator Baker has several resolutions for us for consideration today. Kelsey, good morning.
Good morning, Kelsey Baker, Candido County Administrator. Before you today, I would be requesting approval of Resolution 2026-02 for the 2026 elected official minimum salaries for the county attorney, county sheriff, and county commissioners. So today, I would ask approval for this resolution.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
Mr. Chair, I so move.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second that, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Motion made and passed. Any discussion? And this is simply something that's required by statute.
Statute.
Yes, correct. Very routine. All right. Hearing no further questions or comments, all in favor of Resolution 2026-02, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That motion passes, and you have another.
Correct. For Resolution 2026-3 for the approval of the 2026 mileage rate for the county board to adopt. They came out, was it just last week? Later than normal this year, with 72.5 cents per mile.
Thank you. And so as to Resolution 2026-3, would anybody wish to move that?
Mr. Chair, I'll move Resolution 2026-3.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second that, Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Berg seconds. Thank you. Any discussion? Go ahead.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Just a couple of things. Actually, I got gas the other day in St. Cloud. It's $2.15 a gallon. I mean, that was unbelievable. But this rate is not just about gas. It's the cost of cars and the depreciation and everything. So I just wanted to clarify that for the public. But I also wanted to mention maybe next year, several years ago, quite a few years ago now, the county has, as you're well aware of, the set mileage for people, for example, that live in the Wilmer area, and most of the trips are just back and forth and back and forth. They got a set mileage of $140. And
For commissioners.
for the commissioners, and that has never changed yet, and the other mileage has been going up. So maybe look at that in the future.
Okay.
I don't know if we need board action now on that, anything like that, but, or even appropriate, but I do want to bring that up.
And I think just, I will just throw a little something in here. For example, I don't, if I'm in county, I don't do anything with mileage. It doesn't pay for me to keep track of mileage to go from my house, for example, to West Central Industries, you know, and that's more trouble than it's worth, and it's just assumed, I think, that we, or do we actually have that kind of in writing that for those of us who are in town, we're not?
Well, the idea, though, just to clarify, though, if you do that, then you have to either use the county car or you don't get mileage when you leave the county. That's the whole thing. And if you got a lot of trips in town, you know, those are expensive trips.
We
So-
have,
So I take the 140 and I eat all my trips to the cities and wherever I go, so I lose money on it too.
Yeah, and you do have the option to declare
Absolutely
one or
do.
the
I
other.
absolutely do. But it seems like it works. I'm just thinking, we should, you know, as long as we got it, or we should eliminate that then.
Sure.
As long as we got it on there, we should respect that.
Yeah, that's really outside of this resolution.
Yes,
That's
right.
specifically for commissions. We don't have that written in policy of what we do for commissioners that live within the city of Wilmer.
Okay.
But we still currently now have one commission that still takes that.
All right, we have a motion and a second to move on Resolution 2026-03. Any further comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? That motion passes. And another resolution.
Yep. Before you today is Resolution 2026-04 regarding the commissioners' meeting schedules. Outside of 2 regular scheduled meetings, every meeting would be the first and third Tuesdays of each month at 9 a.m. The 2 meetings that would be meeting outside of that 9 a.m. are the June 16th, the Board of Appeal and Equalization. Staff would recommend moving that from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. for the regular meeting because the Board of Appeal and Equalization is statutorily to start at 6 PM. And then the December 1st, 2026, the Truth and Taxation meeting, the regular meeting, staff recommend to move it to 4 PM instead of 4:30. Because statutorily, the Truth and Taxation meeting the public hearing needs to be opened at 6 PM.
I just want to ask a question before we get too far into this. I think I saw a note in the work plan that we'll be discussing later, that there's perhaps a question about a meeting for when folks are coming back from NACO. Was that a regular board meeting also?
Correct. The second meeting in July, typically, we've always done the regular, because the county board statutorily needs to approve their meeting schedules. These are the two meetings that are really stamped in stone, that, because of the public hearings. Outside of this, we have the second meeting in July. In the past 2 years, we've had 2 commissioners attend the NACO conference. Therefore, we've moved it, I believe we've moved it from Tuesday to Thursday. And that's something that I was gonna wait and see if we can still have 2 commissioners, and if we do need to move it, then we would, I would still come back to the board and ask for approval to move the regular scheduled meeting.
But we don't need to address that one within this resolution. Okay, all right, that's what I was checking on. Is there a
Mr. Chair, I would move on resolution 2026-4.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second, Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Berg seconds. Thank you. Any discussion?
Yeah, it's just
Commissioner Imdag.
that we have unforeseen reasons at times to, although we do have more options now than we did just 2 years ago, because if we're not on a plane, you could do a Zoom. You could come in electronically. So should be less need for moving, and you still have a quorum with 3 people.
There
I
you
think
go.
I think in working with the chair, we've always based it on what is on the agenda, if we need to move it or not.
All right, we have a motion and a second on resolution 2026-04. Is, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Public Works Director Mel Odens, you have a final payment and acceptance for us.
Mr. Chair, members of the board, Mel Odens, Public Works Director. Yep, doing some end-of-the-year cleanup. This is our edge line striping, the porcelain beads, the wet reflective, the grooved end, which we've seen on a road and bridge tour. We did 29 miles this year. Sir Lancelot was the local, or not the local, but was the low bid out of Edina. They were under budget. Once again, as a reminder, this is a 90-10 money, so this is 90% federal, 10% local dollars. And it's my recommendation to accept the project and authorize final payment to Sir Lancelot in the amount of $105,980.17.
Thank you. You've heard the recommendation of staff. Is there a motion?
So move, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Imdak. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Commissioner Dwayne Anderson seconds. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That motion passes. All right. And Caroline, great to see you. And thank you for making your way up here. And you have an MOU for us to consider today.
Correct. Good morning, Caroline Kahn, Director of Health and Human Services for Candy, Ojai County. Happy New Year. This morning, I have bringing forward an opportunity. Leah, could you pull that up for me? Yes. An opportunity for our county to join in a regional FFPSA RFP for prevention partnership focused on strengthening family-driven safety planning and prevention services. The goal of this RFP is fewer children entering foster care, stronger family networks, and better permanency outcomes while building a consistent approach for cross-participating counties. Very much continuing to leverage the work that we're already engaged in and expanding our strategic frameworks that we're already working on, but also expanding our reach for financial support in this work and offsetting our expanding our financial resources to doing the work we're already committed to doing. So DCYF has set forth a competitive RFP for additional FFPSA dollars, which is Family First Prevention and Services and dollars. They'll be awarding 10 grants throughout the state of Minnesota, so it's very competitive. So as a region, we have banded together to say how can we regionally collaborate to try to be most competitive and not compete against each other. So with our directors throughout Region 6 and 8 are also similar to our Southwest 18. We are collecting together, hoping to seek approval from our boards today to do a memorandum of understanding to partner on an application to submit at the end of this month for participation in this grant. So the RFP objectives would be to create systematic change across the region, to engage with Safe Generations, a consulting company, to create the regional coordination. Safe Generations would be the one to apply for this grant on our behalf, and then we would be the ones to benefit for this. Safe Generations, they teach a solutions-focused practice called Resolutions Together. Resolutions Together uses a structured questions to build clarity, engagement, and safety within families. They'll leverage our current training and motivational interviewing by applying the questioning skills directly to safety planning, and it helps practitioners become the catalyst for change in families. Another benefit to this is that it shifts the work from professionally driven plans to family-driven plans. So parents and caregivers and kin networks help create and live out their plans versus the professionals being the ones to design their safety plans. Our why and our shared vision is that children have the fundamental right to belong safely within their families, and that child-centered, family-driven approaches establish lasting safety and minimize the need for out-of-home placement in the long term. We know that belonging is a fundamental human need, and belonging requires safety and connection, where family and people feel safe and connected, decision-making and problem-solving continue to improve. So to expand on our scope and our benefits, this grant allows our free access to high-quality, proven techniques. It'll allow staff that are trained, and then versus purchasing services reducing reliance on paid supports. It'll continue to develop a consistent regional model by going through this safety training as a region will allow the opportunity for us to have shared language, shared support. It'll allow our supervisors to have shared support within their networks. It'll allow directors to have those shared resources as well as our direct line staff. So when we're engaging at different regional connection points, we'll have shared language. It'll also allow our families that move throughout our region on a pretty consistent manner to have shared understanding and then continued consistency as they're engaging in different counties. They'll have consistent messaging when they are engaging in different resources in different counties as well, which will be a benefit. It'll also continue to implement and position us for the upcoming legislation of MAFPA CWDA and increase our access to FFPSA funding that we receive locally. So instead of the FFPSA funding that we do directly receive from the state having to be spent on training, which is an approved funding model that we can directly spend our dollars, we can then preserve those funds for other needs for our families versus spending those on the training needs for our staff. So from the roles and responsibilities, Safe Generations will be the one that will be applying for the grant, as well as hosting the dollars, unless required that it needs to be held by a county if that's determined. Another county will be the one to be the fiscal host. Candy, Ohio County has not agreed or volunteered to be the one to be the fiscal host for this project.
Good call.
I don't think my partner would be thrilled with that suggestion. But they would be the ones to help then facilitate capacity for coordinating trainings, especially system-wide throughout counties, is simply something that doesn't exist within counties today. So engaging a partner that would have the expertise in training, coordination, and deployment is certainly something that will be a benefit. This is what they do for a living. This is what they're known for nationally. This is something that they are sought after and something that was, quite frankly, we are already committed to looking towards and was already in our plan for 2026 and allows us the opportunity to preserve resources by moving forward in this hopeful process. So we would be the ones that would be committing the opportunity for our staff to engage in this learning. We would be committing the concept of committing to the values that we're already living each day. So today I am seeking board action on authorizing Candy Ojai County to participate in approving the memorandum of understanding, which allows us to collaborate regionally and allowing for the implementation to participate fully in the grant application and rollout if selected by the state of Minnesota to receive this RFP. So the RFP is due at the end of January, and we should know by March if we are selected as a grantee.
Okay, very good. Questions for Director Khan? Commissioner Berg.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm assuming our group is going to go for the whole amount, the 800,000?
Correct, so it would be 400 per each year, so it's a 2-year
Yes.
grant.
Okay. Yep. And just curiosity off the top of your head, and maybe you don't know that, how much administrative costs are there allowed if you're a fiscal host?
I would have to follow
I'm
up with
not
you on
sure.
that.
Okay, thank you. No, I didn't mean to put you on the spot on that. I was just kind of curious, but I'm sure one of the counties will be happy to do it too.
Yeah.
Good.
Any other, Commissioner?
Yeah, thank you. So we're not really creating a new joint powers here, are we?
No. No, it wouldn't be a joint powers. It would just be the ability for us to benefit and participate in the trainings.
And the training is provided by this Safe Generations?
Correct.
Okay, and is there a fiscal note? There's no,
There's no fiscal note other than the in-kind cost of our staff attending the training, which is training that we would be attending otherwise. Because of like the safety networks questions that make a difference. These are trainings that we have already identified as trainings we would like our staff to go through under FFPSA dollars that we receive internally. So it would be a way for us to offset the FFPSA dollars that we receive internally to then use for other needs to support families that would offset the ability that we would otherwise have to look at levy dollars to meet for concrete supports. So basic needs supports for families that we could either use those FFPSA dollars for training for staff or concrete supports. We have to use it for a minimum of 10% annually. We can do more, but often it's used for supporting training on the ongoing benefit of supporting families annually as well. So this would streamline that funding or offset that training need.
Please continue.
yeah. So in light of what's been in the news for, it seems like way too long.
Yep.
Has the Safe Generations, has that been vetted by the Joint Powers groups or someone so that we're sure that it doesn't come back and say, okay, they didn't really provide what they said?
The Safe Generations has been a long-standing partner in this work on a national level for many years, for decades. They've been involved in this type of work. I can certainly go back and provide some history on their organization if you would like. I don't have that with me today, but I know that they have been a sought-after organization and engaged in this framework of child and welfare and family preservation, not only in Minnesota, but throughout the United States for quite some time.
Thank you.
And if I may, Caroline, this is intended to help advance outcomes and avoid out-of-home placements, and that's an area that we've made significant strides in.
Correct.
In my time on the board, over the past 5 years, correct?
Correct. Yep, we've continued to see strides. There's still movement to be made, and then movement that will be required of us under MAFPA DA, excuse me. And quite frankly, at the heart of both the upcoming legislation and at the heart of Safe Generations and the work that we want to be doing is the fundamental desire to keep children with families, safely with families. And both of those require some of the safety planning work and family support network planning. So both of those accomplish that through staff training and supports as well as network building.
Well, I think this fits very well for Candiota County, but also for the entire region. I know that Commissioner Berg has served for years on the Southwest 18, and I think this application makes a lot of sense the way that it's structured. Is there a motion to accept the recommendation of staff?
Mr. Chair, I so move.
You, and is there a second?
I'll second that, Mr. Chair.
All right, we have a motion and a second to recommend, to accept the recommendation of staff to submit the, approve the MOU and move forward with the submission of the grant app. Any final discussion? Commissioner Berg.
Just a comment. It's surprising to see a grant like this come across with all the other things being cut. So yes, it's a great opportunity for us to capitalize on this and move forward. Thank you.
Yep.
Outstanding. We'll vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That motion passes. Caroline, thank you so much. Good to see you up and about.
Thanks.
Yes.
All right, we are winding down a little bit. Administrative updates. Kelsey, anything that you wanted to?
Other than to, if there's, we don't have to go through the work plan, but if there are any, if there is anything that I should add on there, I reached out to all of the department heads, and we have one added department that would like to do a work session, which I think is a great idea, the community corrections. We have our financial quarterly reports. We have the budget work sessions on there. We have our quasi-government reports. Melissa has done a phenomenal job in reaching out to some of those organizations and getting them on the agenda. So we'll work through that. If there is anything I'm missing, or if you would like added, or if the board would like discussion, you can do so. And this is really just, the work plan is a tool for myself and a working document that now the department heads and myself kind of utilize and kind of what's coming up. I think for our work sessions, we'll just schedule those for 1 p.m., even if it's following a board meeting. I think for staff, we're always kind of guesstimating what time to start, and I think we'll just, if you're okay with that, solidify those to start at 1 p.m. The other thing that I think, in talking with the chair, I would like to discuss the shotgun rifle. If you want to, if the chair wants to discuss any of that, to get that on the agenda, we could add that to the work plan, or if you want to schedule a listening session for the public input. And then, as I think a couple of commissioners talked about prior, some ordinances the board would like to see come to fruition. I'll bring those in March. I planned on, it was the no wake ordinance, and then a potential vacation rental ordinance has been discussed as well. And so I'll bring those to board for discussion on which direction the board would like to go to in March. Other than that, I don't have anything else.
Commissioner Dale Anderson and then Commissioner Burton.
Well, I guess just going back to your shotgun or rifle, I think we need to set up at least 2 hearing sessions, maybe one during our board meeting, and then one in the evening so that we don't have people that don't feel they haven't been heard. I've been getting a lot of phone calls and emails lately about it, wondering when that session is. So I think that's something we should probably try and get on the schedule as soon as we could.
Go ahead.
In speaking with the chair the other day, we could do a listening session the last week in January if you would like to do an evening. Or as Commissioner Anderson said, we could do one during the day, like the week of January 26th. You could do an evening listening session. In reaching out to other administrators, they have called them listening sessions prior to putting on their agenda to see where consensus from the public and the input would be. Then we could have board discussion at the February 3rd meeting, whatever the board would choose to do, if it was an ordinance or post the ordinance. then moving through that process, the public hearing would either be February 17th or March 3rd, depending on if the board were to adopt an ordinance. That was just the timeline in my head, but if you were, I think if you want to have a listening session, I would recommend if we can get that scheduled sooner rather than later so that we have time to notice that and let the public be aware of that.
Commissioner Berg and then Commissioner Rimbeck.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. Yes, I think it's a great idea to have some public input, and we're going to hear from the public about this whole thing. I do have commitments that I can't change out that last week in January. And I'm just wondering, you mentioned February 3rd board meeting, maybe that evening of February 3rd, we could do it then, too.
Sorry, yeah, I just remembered that week for you. Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
And I would say to that point, if anyone else has any
Yeah.
conflicts around that week or the following, give those to Kelsey, and we'll work to get something that works so that, like she said, we can get that properly noticed. Roger?
Yeah, what was the last date that you proposed for, as you were going through that timeline, what was the last date?
Well, that was really based off the 27th meeting, but if, because then if you were to have the public hearing, you could do that at the regular February 17th or March 3rd board meeting.
Yeah,
However,
I think everybody knows this has to be done by May 1st, I believe it is.
Correct.
If it's
Yep.
going to be done. My, if I may, Mr. Chair.
You may.
It seems like I've gotten a lot of public feedback already. I've been getting emails for 3-4 months, and actually, first one came 7-8 months ago. And the preponderance of the emails that we're getting point in one direction. And so, public hearing or public input doesn't hurt, but I don't think it's gonna change anything.
I don't know if it's required, but I think it's going to be a good practice for us on this issue, because this is a potentially big change. Commissioner Berg?
Yes, I still would like to hear, and I believe it is required, so.
An ordinance, you'd have to have a public hearing for an ordinance, but not a
Oh, I see what you're saying.
But I think to Dale's earlier point about the listening session, and sometimes, public bodies take some criticism for not necessarily being available. I think this is one of those things that we can do to have that robust listening session, or sessions, as Dale said, and then we can take our direction as policymakers from there. So, if that sounds fine with everybody, we'll work out the exact dates and start getting all of that lined up. You, Kelsey, had mentioned the shotgun. Did we?
that was it.
That was it? Okay. We talked about that yesterday. That was a long time ago for me. So, any other questions on the work plan? As Kelsey said, that is a work in progress, and always something that will continue to be updated. Commissioner Burton?
Yes, I'd just like to maybe bring it up again. I've brought it up in the past too, that we got a sheriff's office update in August. I'm thinking maybe it might be more appropriate to have it earlier or have an extra sheriff's update.
Yep, and I
Look
did,
into that.
I have spoke to him, and we're gonna try to get him earlier then.
Thank you.
That'd be good.
And I just have one quick
Yes.
comment.
Go ahead.
Because I don't want to take up any more time, but I really appreciate this here being given to us, because it's nice to have a nice work plan so that we can kind of see what's going on in the year ahead, so.
And, we, maybe sometimes take a look at something like this and they go, yeah, but, don't we also discuss this and that? And so we can continue to work with the administrator to advance any agenda items of this type that come before us, so. At this time, I know that we've come off a holiday break, and I will just say that I needed this one. It was, of course, it helps to be retired from the day job, but I have not slept so well in a long time. But I'm also ready I'm like the kids coming back from Christmas vacation can't wait to get to school, you know, and so that's kind of how I've felt about this one. Does anyone have anything that they wish to report out on? Anything that's maybe upcoming or a point of interest that you may want to alert us to for maybe some future discussion? Well, that was enthusiastically met.
Yeah.
And so I don't see any further business coming before us. Any last items for the good of the order? All right, if not, then we are adjourned. Thank you, everybody, and